What if I told you that even in the darkest place on earth, where freedom was stripped away, where death was a daily companion and suffering was unavoidable, life still had meaning? This audiobook is not about happiness. It is not about success. It is not about motivation in the traditional sense. This is about why some people survive unbearable suffering and others don't. Welcome to 360 Book Wisdom. Today we explore one of the most powerful books ever written, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl was an Austrian neurologist and psychiatrist, and a survivor of Nazi concentration camps, including Auschwitz. This book was first published in 1946, shortly after World War II. Since then, it has sold over 16 million copies, been translated into 50-plus languages, and is ranked among the most influential books of all time. But this is not just a memoir. It is a psychological and philosophical guide to surviving pain, loss, and uncertainty. Frankl asks one life-changing question: what makes life worth living, even when everything is taken from you? Let us begin this journey. Part 1. Experiences in a concentration camp 1. Arrest, shock, and the loss of identity. Frankl begins by describing the initial shock of arrest. Prisoners were stripped of their names, their clothes, their professions, their dignity. They were reduced to numbers. At this stage, most prisoners experienced emotional numbness, fear mixed with disbelief, a strange absence of sadness. The mind protects itself when pain is too intense. Frankl observes that suffering begins long before physical pain. It begins when a person loses control over their future. 2. Daily life and psychological survival. Life in the camps was brutal. Starvation, forced labor, constant humiliation, random death. Yet Frankl noticed something extraordinary. Some prisoners shared their last piece of bread, comforted others, found moments of humor. Others collapsed mentally, even before their bodies failed. Frankl realized the difference was not strength, intelligence, or health. It was meaning. Those who had something to live for endured longer. 3. Freedom. Within suffering. Frankl introduces his most famous idea. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Even in extreme suffering, a person can choose courage instead of despair, dignity instead of bitterness, hope instead of surrender. Frankl himself survived by holding on to the image of his wife, the idea of rewriting his lost manuscript, the belief that his suffering had meaning for love as the highest. Meaning, one of the most powerful moments in the book is when Frankl writes, "Love is the ultimate and the highest goal to which man can aspire." He realized that love does not depend on physical presence. Even in isolation, love gave him strength. Meaning, Frankl explains, is often found outside oneself, in another person, a mission, or a responsibility. 5. The aftermath, emptiness after liberation. Surprisingly, liberation did not bring immediate joy. Many survivors experienced emotional emptiness, depression, disorientation. Suffering had ended, but meaning had to be rebuilt. Frankl calls this depersonalization, when pain becomes normal and joy feels unreal. Closing reflection of the Part 1. As Part 1 comes to an end, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. Frankl does not tell us that suffering can be avoided. He shows us that suffering does not have the final word. Inside a place where freedom was taken away, Frankl discovered the last freedom no one could steal, the freedom to choose one's attitude. When names became numbers, when tomorrow disappeared, those who survived were not the strongest. They were the ones who still had meaning, a person, a purpose, a reason to endure one more day. Frankl reminds us that meaning is not found in comfort, but in responsibility, in how we respond when life becomes unbearable. Even in the darkest conditions, life was still asking a question: who will you choose to be? Despite this, if meaning could exist even in a concentration camp, then meaning is never absent from life, only waiting to be discovered. In the next part, Frankl shows us how to find that meaning. Stay with us. Part 2. Logotherapy in a nutshell. In Part 1, we witnessed suffering in its rawest form. Now, in Part 2, Viktor Frankl steps back, not as a prisoner, but as a psychiatrist. Here he explains the psychological theory that grew out of his suffering. A theory not written in comfort, but forged in pain. Frankl calls it logotherapy. The word logos comes from Greek, meaning meaning. Logotherapy, simply put, is the therapy of meaning. What is logotherapy? Most psychological theories ask, how can I feel better? How can I be happy? How can I avoid pain? Logotherapy asks a different question. What is life asking of me right now? Frankl challenges two dominant ideas of human motivation. Sigmund Freud said humans are driven by pleasure. Alfred Adler said humans are driven by power. Frankl disagreed. He believed that the primary drive of human beings is meaning, not pleasure, not success, not comfort, but purpose. When people lose meaning, they suffer, even if they are wealthy, safe, and comfortable. The will to meaning. Frankl introduces the concept of the will to meaning. Every human being wants their life to matter, have direction, serve something greater than themselves. When this will is blocked, people experience anxiety, depression, aggression, addiction. Not because life is too hard, but because life feels empty. Frankl observed that many patients were not mentally ill in the clinical sense. They were suffering from meaninglessness. The existential vacuum. Frankl calls this inner emptiness the existential vacuum. Symptoms include chronic boredom, feeling lost, constant distraction, living on autopilot. People try to fill this vacuum with pleasure, entertainment, substance abuse, endless consumption. But nothing satisfies for long, because meaning cannot be replaced by pleasure. This problem, Frankl warned, would grow in modern societies, where people have freedom, but no direction. Ways to find meaning, the core of logotherapy. Frankl explains that meaning is not invented, it is discovered, and it can be discovered in three main ways. 1. Creative values, meaning through work and contribution. The first path to meaning is what we give to the world. This includes work, creativity, service, responsibility. Meaning does not come from status, it comes from usefulness. Even the smallest task, if done with responsibility, can be meaningful. Frankl reminds us, you don't need a grand mission, you need faithfulness to your task. 2. Experiential values, meaning through love and experience. The second path is what we take from the world. This includes love, relationships, beauty, nature, art. Frankl places love at the center. Love allows us to see the potential in another human being. Through love, we understand the deepest meaning of existence. Even in suffering, love remains accessible. 3. Attitudinal values, meaning through suffering. This is the most powerful and most misunderstood idea. Frankl never glorifies suffering, but he states clearly, when suffering is unavoidable, we are challenged to change ourselves. If pain cannot be removed, meaning can still be found in how we endure it. This is where human dignity lives: courage, patience, inner strength. Suffering becomes a human achievement when met with the right attitude. Responsibility, the essence of human existence. Frankl believed freedom must be balanced with responsibility. He famously suggested that, just as the Statue of Liberty stands in America, there should be a statue of responsibility. Life does not owe us happiness. Life asks us, what will you do with your time? Who will you become in suffering? What will you stand for? Meaning comes from answering life's questions, not demanding answers from life.
Logotherapy in practice. Logotherapy helps people by shifting focus from suffering to purpose, helping them find meaning unique to their situation, encouraging responsibility rather than comfort. Frankl believed even a few moments of meaning can outweigh years of suffering. Closing reflection of Part 2. Frankl's message is simple but demanding. Life is meaningful under all conditions, not because life is easy, but because you are responsible for how you respond. When everything is taken away, meaning remains, waiting to be found. Part 3. The case for a tragic optimism. In the first part, we witnessed unimaginable suffering. In the second, we learned how meaning sustains life. Now, in this final part, Viktor Frankl addresses a difficult question. How can we remain hopeful in a world filled with pain, guilt, and death? Frankl does not offer blind optimism. He offers something deeper. He calls it tragic optimism. What is tragic optimism? Tragic optimism is the ability to say yes to life despite its tragedies. Frankl argues that life's darkest realities can never be eliminated: pain, guilt, death. He calls these the tragic triad. True optimism is not pretending these don't exist. It is finding meaning in spite of them. The tragic triad 1. Pain, turning suffering into achievement. Pain is unavoidable in human life, but Frankl reminds us, pain does not destroy meaning. Meaning transforms pain. When suffering cannot be avoided, we still have the power to choose our response. Through dignity and courage, suffering becomes a testimony of inner strength. 2. Guilt, turning failure into growth. Every human being makes mistakes. Frankl sees guilt not as a curse, but as an opportunity. Guilt reminds us that we are responsible, we can change, we can become better. Meaning is found when we grow beyond our past mistakes. 3. Death, turning temporariness into responsibility. Life is finite, and because life ends, every moment matters. Frankl explains, if life were endless, nothing would be urgent. It is death that gives life seriousness and responsibility. The question is not, how long will I live? But, what will I do with the time I have? Noetic dimension, the spiritual core of humans. Frankl introduces the idea of the noetic dimension, the spiritual core of the human being. This dimension allows us to rise above circumstances, choose meaning, preserve dignity. Even when the body is weak and the mind is exhausted, the human spirit can remain free. This is why some prisoners survived, not physically stronger, but spiritually grounded. Why modern people suffer. Frankl warns that modern society suffers not from lack of comfort, but from lack of purpose. People today often ask, what can I expect from life? Frankl suggests we ask instead, what does life expect from me? When people live without responsibility, they experience emptiness, even in abundance. Closing reflection of Part 3. Tragic optimism teaches us, pain can deepen us, guilt can refine us, death can awaken responsibility. When we accept life fully, with its beauty and its tragedy, we become truly human. Quick summary. Man's Search for Meaning is not just a book about survival, it is a book about why life is worth living, even in suffering. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, teaches us that the primary drive of human beings is not pleasure or power, but the search for meaning. Through his experience in Nazi concentration camps, Frankl observed that those who survived longest were not always the strongest, but those who had a reason to live. The book reminds us of one powerful truth. Everything can be taken from a person except one thing, the freedom to choose their attitude. Frankl introduces logotherapy, a psychological approach based on meaning. He explains that meaning can be found in 3 ways. First, through work and contribution, by giving something valuable to the world. Second, through love and experience, by deeply connecting with people, beauty, and life itself. And third, through attitude toward unavoidable suffering, by responding with courage, dignity, and responsibility. Frankl also warns about the existential vacuum, the emptiness many people feel today, not because life is hard, but because life lacks purpose. In his final message of tragic optimism, Frankl teaches us to say yes to life, despite pain, guilt, death. He shows us that pain can be transformed into strength, guilt into growth, and death into responsibility. The central lesson of this book is simple, yet profound. Life does not promise happiness. Life asks us to be responsible. And meaning is not something we expect from life. It is something we give to life. Final message of the book. Frankl's ultimate message is this: life is meaningful under all conditions. Not because life is fair, not because life is easy, but because you are responsible for your response. Even in pain, even in failure, even facing death, life still asks something of you, and meaning is found in how you answer. If this book has taught us anything, it is this: your life does not lose value because of pain. Your life does not lose meaning because of hardship, and your past does not define your future. Meaning is something you create through responsibility, courage, and love. If this audiobook added value to your life, please like, share, and subscribe to 360 Book Wisdom. Thank you for listening. Keep searching, keep growing.